Let's talk real estate. Today, I want to take you into an entirely different world, a world most people never see. It's not the world people think real estate investing is, but it's the world that it actually is. Most people who aren't seasoned investors see real estate as buy a house, fix it up, rent it out. I can't tell you how many times I tell people I'm a real estate investor, and that's the first thing they come out with. Oh, are you flipping homes? Honestly, flipping homes is a very minute part of what I do. I only do it every once in a while if I find a really great deal that just looks like a lot of fun. I really don't flip anymore. Real investors, we see it differently. And there's nothing wrong with flipping houses, by the way. There's nothing wrong with flipping commercial buildings. I just have found different things that I enjoy better as a real estate investor. And as a real estate investor, we see real estate as a wealth engine. It is a tool of leverage. And we're going to cover all of this in this episode. Real estate is a hostile environment where knowledge, your knowledge, is going to beat money every single time. It is a landscape that is filled with hidden doors, and every door leads to opportunity. Now, if you're a real estate investor, you're going to like that mention of doors. In real estate, we call our real estate investments that are actual structures doors. So if one investor says to me, how many doors do you have? What they're asking is how many investment properties do I have? How many structures do I have? How many units in a residential unit, or how many doors total do I have? Doors are also, for the sake of this episode, opportunities. So in real estate, every door that we come to, every door to a structure that we come to is an opportunity. If we understand how to structure it or to walk away, and sometimes an opportunity is walking away because we don't want to get tied up in something that's going to keep us from being prosperous. There are deals that aren't good deals, and not taking a deal that is a good deal is an opportunity because it frees us up to actually put our money and our efforts into something that is going to be a better deal, which is a better opportunity. Today is not going to be a class, it's not going to be a pitch, and hopefully it's going to be an awakening for you. Because once you understand what's possible in real estate, once you see how this game actually works, your old financial life is literally going to become too small for you. It is going to come crashing down around you. I really want you to pay attention through these episodes because it is going to put so many things in perspective. It is going to give you that aha moment that is going to say, I have to be investing in real estate. There is no excuse for me not to be investing in real estate. I have to be an idiot not to invest in real estate. I'm not calling you an idiot if you decide not to, but that is how serious this is going to affect you. So please pay attention. In today's episode, and this is going to be the first in a series that I'm going to be doing on this topic, I'm going to be referencing Heritage Real Estate Masters course here and there. Not as a sales pitch, but because what I'm showing you today and through the series is going to be a 10,000 foot view of the world of real estate that the Heritage course teaches in surgical detail. So this is your first step into the most opportunity-rich industries on planet Earth, and that's real estate investing. Let me give you a couple of oh wow moments right from the beginning. 90% of millionaires either made their wealth in real estate or they grew and multiplied their wealth with real estate. Real estate doesn't just grow in value, it compounds. You get paid in at least 3 ways with real estate by investing in real estate. When you acquire the property, when you hold the property while you're holding it, and when you exit the property. No other investment class works like real estate. I'm going to say that again because I really wanted to sink in. No other investment class works like real estate. Only real estate does this. Real estate is the only wealth vehicle where you can control $1 million and multi-million-dollar assets without being a millionaire. That means you can own what you can't afford outright. That's because you can leverage what you don't have. You can control more than you can personally pay for. Real estate obeys a simple law. People always need somewhere to live, somewhere to work, somewhere to store their things, somewhere to go when they travel, somewhere to gather, and somewhere to build. They also need somewhere to eat and drink and do so many other things. This means real estate never goes out of style. There will always be a need and a demand for real estate as long as there are human beings. Real estate adapts, it evolves, and it shifts, but it is never ever going to disappear. It is never ever going to not be a good investment. When real estate is done right, it is not risky. Ignorance is what is risky. Knowledge is that insurance against ignorance. That's why knowledge is a superpower in real estate investing. Real estate investing, it's not a game of guessing, it's a game of knowing. Once you know how to evaluate a deal, once you know how to structure a deal, once you know how to protect yourself in the deals that you're putting together, once you know how to see what others miss, you literally are not going to be able to look at the world the same way again. Here's something that no one tells beginners. In real estate, the person with the most knowledge is the one who wins every single time. It's not the richest person. It's not the loudest person. It's definitely not the big shot with the expensive suit and no strategy. Knowledge is the edge that makes real estate work. Knowledge is the edge. It is the key. It is the only tool that you need to make real estate investing work for you. Let me show you why. The biggest losses in real estate do not come from bad markets. They come from bad decisions. And bad decisions come from not knowing what to look for, not knowing how to run the numbers, not knowing how to negotiate, not knowing how to structure a deal, not knowing how to protect your downside. The best deals you will ever get in your life are going to come from things that other people completely missed because they didn't know what they were looking at. They didn't know what they were looking for. They didn't know the story behind the property. They didn't recognize the seller's motivation. They didn't know or see the hidden potential in the property. Real estate is a treasure hunt, but only for the people who know how to hunt that treasure, only for the people who know how to read those clues and read that map. That map, that language, it's numbers, market cycles, property conditions, seller psychology, creative structuring, long-term vision, short-term risk mitigation, strategy selection, financing pathways, exit planning. Knowledge is what turns ordinary people into investors. Knowledge is what makes invisible opportunities visible. Knowledge is what protects you when the market shifts. And that's why smart investors invest in knowledge before investing in anything else. Now, this is where I'm going to really open some eyes and make some people say, oh, wow. Most people think that there are just three ways to invest in real estate. Buy a rental, flip a house, buy a commercial building. Most people have no idea, zero, how many strategies exist, how many pathways there are, and how many opportunities are hiding in plain sight right in front of your very eyes. I'm going to give you a flyover view of the real estate universe without diving in deeply. This is just some of the deals that we see all of the time, literally every day in real estate investing. Deals that require money, deals that require no money, deals that require credit, deals that require no credit, deals that you hold, deals that you sell, deals that you partner up on, deals that you control without owning, deals where your income is passive, deals where your income is active, deals where you get paid up front, deals where you get paid monthly, deals where you get paid in one massive exit, deals where you get paid multiple different ways. And within those broad categories are even more strategies than most people will ever discover in a lifetime. That's what makes real estate so exciting. That is why I love it so much. It's not just one business. It's hundreds of businesses interwoven together. And every strategy is a doorway. And every doorway is, remember, an opportunity. Every doorway is a specialty. Every specialty is a wealth vehicle. Now, the Heritage Real Estate Masters course goes really, really deep into all of these and more. But right now, I just want you to get a feel for and a grasp for the size of the opportunity in real estate investing. If you decide you're going to be a real estate investor, you're not choosing a job. You're entering a massive financial ecosystem. Real estate investing is an inner game long before it becomes an outer game. The moment you start thinking like an investor, the moment you shift your mindset, everything changes. It's like shifting and switching into a new part of your brain. Here are some of the biggest mindset shifts that change ordinary people into successful real estate investors. Successful investors don't see property, they see possibility. Two people can look at the exact same property, the same building. One of them sees a headache and the other sees a cash cow. What's the difference? The second person sees what the first person doesn't even know what to look for. Successful investors don't chase trends. We chase fundamentals. We follow the numbers and the money follows the numbers. The media talks about hype. Investors talk about data. Successful investors are not emotional. They are strategic. This gets back to following the numbers. The numbers make sense. The numbers have to make sense. If the numbers make sense, the deal makes sense. Base your decisions on the number and you can eliminate fear and uncertainty. Fear is going to destroy your wealth. Facts are going to prove your decisions and they're going to create wealth and protect it. Successful investors, they don't ask, can I afford this? They ask, how do I structure this so that I can acquire it? That one mind shift set alone has built more fortunes than any other single idea. That how do I structure this to acquire it versus how do I afford it? Successful investors don't rely on perfect timing. We rely on prepared execution. Most people are out there waiting for the perfect moment, that perfect moment that in their eyes usually never comes along. We as investors, we're preparing for that moment so that we're able to react. We're ready to react when we get to that moment. We're ready to act, actually, not even react. We're ready to dive in and take action. Successful investors understand the difference between losing money and placing money. When you learn that real estate is the ultimate investment, your money becomes a soldier. It goes out. It works for you. It brings money back, and it brings money back with friends. They all come to your house and they drink and they make a mess and you have a great time. This mindset is what makes, they don't do that. This mindset is what makes real estate investing powerful, and what is going to prepare you for the rest of this series is changing your mindset, opening yourself up to the potentials in real estate. Once you develop investor vision, you're never going to look at the world the same way. I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. The average person drives down the street and they see houses, stores, vacant lots, buildings. Investors, we drive down that same street and we see equity, we see cash flow, we see appreciation, creative structures, opportunity gaps, underpriced assets, hidden value, motivated sellers, future redevelopment, future development, income streams, exit strategies, leverage plays, long-term tax advantages. So much. Again, your perspective changes when you start shifting your mindset to that investor mindset. Every property has its own story. Every seller of that property has their own story. And know what? No matter what, there is a person who owns every property that has to sell it. Sometimes it's the government, and there's a story there. Sometimes it's an individual, and I guarantee you there's a story there. Fortune favors the person who knows how to read those stories and capitalize on those stories, capitalize them to their favor. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a better deal or even just an amazing deal on a property because I took the time to talk to the seller, to find out what their motivation was, and sometimes just even their concerns. See, sellers, all sellers, they have their own reasons for selling. I heard a story the other day that hit me because it's so on point. An investor went and spoke with a woman who he was not looking forward to speaking because he had heard from other people that she was just cantankerous and did not want a deal. She was selling her brother's house. Her brother had recently passed away. He got there and he decided he was just going to open his ears and he was going to listen. He walked around the house with the sister and she pointed out different toys, different books, different things that they had done in her childhood. And as she's walking around, he says, "So what do you want from all of this?" She said, "I just don't want to be taken advantage of." And he said, I won't do that. I would never do that. And he made a deal with her. I don't know what the deal was, but she felt comfortable enough after speaking with him to make that deal because he took the time to communicate versus other investors who probably walked in and say, "Hey, I'll give you X and X and X for this because it's a dump and it's falling apart and no one's done anything with it and your brother's dead and you don't need it, so I'm going to score." She didn't want to hear it. And because of that, those investors lost out on that deal. Because of that, the investor who I'm speaking about, he got that deal. Sometimes sellers are reluctant to sell a house not because of the actual deal, not because they don't need to sell the house, but because they have different motivations. They have connections to the property. Maybe they want to know that you aren't going to come in and knock the house down and build a new house. Maybe they want to know that you're going to give it some genuine attention. Maybe you're going to bring it back to its former glory. Put a family in there. Make it have all the possibilities that it had before. Sometimes they just want to sell a property because they inherited it. Maybe they don't see the potential you do. For them, it's a burden. These are the scenarios that we need to know. These are the stories that we need to hear so that we can go in and we can structure the right deal for us and the right deal for them. That's what we call win-win. The seller wins. We as the investor, we win. Knowledgeable investors know these things. Understanding seller motivation alone, just that one skill, can turn a full price deal into a, "Oh my gosh, how did you get that deal?" When you understand valuation, you stop caring what people think something is worth, and you start caring about what the numbers say, what the numbers prove. And if the numbers are proving that property is of value, then you invest in it. This is the investor mindset. This is the investor lens. This is what separates the dreamers from the doers. This is what turns real estate from confusing to simple. In this series, I'm going to give you clarity, confidence, vision, perspective, understanding, protection, direction, strategy, momentum. Most educational content teaches you tactics. This series is going to teach you the thinking behind the tactics. We're building the internal structures of your investor brain. We're helping you switch gears into that investor mindset, piece by piece, layer by layer. And I'm going to show you how to analyze, evaluate, and think strategically. How to detect opportunities, how to avoid traps, understand markets, understand people, understand money, understand timing, understand risks, understand leverage, and perhaps most importantly, how to understand yourself and prepare yourself to be in that investor mindset and to be a successful investor. This series is where your real estate investor transformation begins. Today, when you watch this video, you stepped into a world most people are never going to get to see. It's not because it's hidden, it's just because people never take the time to learn it. Real estate investing is not a mystery. It's a discipline. It's a skill set. It's a mindset. It's a strategy, a science, a language. It's a craft. It is, most importantly, perhaps, a path to freedom. The difference between people who dream about wealth and people who build wealth is simple. The dreamer waits. The doer learns. The dreamer hesitates. The dreamer hesitates. The doer takes action. The dreamer avoids risk. The doer manages it. The dreamer feels complexity, and the doer studies it until it becomes simple and understandable. You make the choice to learn, and that choice is going to change everything. It's going to change everything for you. It's going to change everything for your family. This next episode, we're going to go even deeper. This is just the beginning. I look forward to seeing you back here as we get to the next episode.